In just a moment, X-1. But first, a quiz program does not always improve your IQ. But when it's an NBC radio quiz program, you can be sure it will improve your disposition. Yes, NBC offers listeners a laugh session every Wednesday night with 2 fun-filled question and answer shows. One is Truth or Consequences. And though you may never learn why a chicken crosses the road, you'll howl as contestants perform the stunts dreamed up by MC Jack Bailey. The other is You Bet Your Life. And with a quizmaster like Groucho Marx, your good time is always guaranteed. Hear Truth or Consequences and You Bet Your Life tomorrow. Now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC. X-1 in 1 minute. This week is Military Reserve Week. If you're a young man between the ages of 17 and 18 and a half, you can fulfill your military obligation with only 6 months of active duty. You need no longer ask yourself, when will I be drafted? By joining the 6-month reserve training program, you become draft exempt and can plan your future with confidence. You are paid for your service while in training. You may be able to pick the exact job you want, depending upon your aptitudes and Army vacancies. You may enlist in the program and then receive a deferment until you have finished high school. Your training will teach you to protect yourself and your family in any emergency. The training builds you physically, and the technical skills you learn can help you later in your civilian career. There are many other big advantages for you in the 6-month training program. Visit your Army Reserve Center for all the facts about your big opportunity in the 6-month training program. Learn how you can plan your future with confidence.
The book says, when the ship shall enter into the orbital pool of its destination, the motors will change in sound due to the increased anti-gravity components. A study is being made to interpret the meaning of the word destination, which was lost some 4,000 years ago and has always been a subject for much controversy. But this need not concern you. Suffice to be reassured that the change in the sound of the motors is a part of the scheme of things. Return to the schedule. The ship is all. Praise the ship.
The ship is all. Praise the ship.
Countdown for blast-off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Sense of Wonder by Milton Lesser.
The huge ship sped endlessly through space on a voyage that had lasted 10,000 years, the journey which had no end. And for those aboard her, there was no other universe. To them, the ship was all. The ship is all. Rykud read the slogan embossed in raised letters of steel outside the door to the priest's compartment. The ship is all. His eyes wandered to the face of the young man standing next to him, his superior, Kreifer. The face had the empty, unquestioning expression that was typical of the people of the ship.
Are you ready, Kreifer?
I am. Enter.
Come in.
Well? I am Kreifer. Superior class, 3rd level, compartment Y51.
Welcome.
This is my attendant, Rykud.
Be welcome. Praise the ship.
Praise the ship.
What is your mission?
My superior's schedule shows that today he is 25 units of age. He is ordered to appear before the priest of the 3rd level to be given a woman.
You have the schedule with you?
Here.
Good. You have your certificate of health and fertility?
Show him the certificate, Rykud. Don't just stand there dreaming.
Oh, yes. Here.
Good. Return to your compartment. I will have the matron bring you a woman from the 4th level. Praise the ship.
Praise the ship.
Pfeiffer returned to his compartment, followed by Rykud. There was no questioning in the mind of either of them. At birth, each of the people was classified as a superior or an attendant, and the coded marking of his schedule was tattooed on his right arm. Both of these young men were 25, strongly built, and tanned from constant exposure to the health rays in the ship's conditioning room. Pfeiffer wore the loose-fitting robe of a superior. Rykud wore the tight trousers and shirt of an attendant. They entered the comfortably furnished compartment.
Pfeiffer,
Yes.
what do you suppose she'll be like?
What difference does it make?
Don't you even wonder about it?
I wonder about nothing. The ship is all. Praise the ship.
Well, naturally, but still...
We've been together as superior and attendant ever since the nursery. As an attendant, your entire purpose in life is to keep me alive and productive, to perpetuate the people. I would hate to have to part with you now.
To part with me?
Not of my own choosing, of course, but sometimes I detect what appears to be a strain of unorthodox thinking.
Really? I was not aware of it.
I am not entirely aware of it myself. Not enough for me to report you. However, I must warn you that if it should increase, I will have to send you for therapy.
Well, I assure you there'll be no need for that. I've never deviated from the schedule. I have never disobeyed the buzzer.
I am merely observing, asking questions like, don't you even wonder this is the first step to unorthodoxy?
I shall watch myself for signs of it.
Good. The eating buzzer.
Your schedule calls for a massive dose of multivitamins.
Fine. Prepare it in the green vegetables today.
Today is a starch day.
Oh, I'd forgotten.
We could just skip it today.
Rykud.
Well...
Of course, skipping the vitamins for one day is a permissible deviation, but I shall have to report for punishment tomorrow.
Well?
Skip the vitamins.
I knew we would. You've never missed a permissible deviation yet.
It's your influence that makes me do it.
And you always blame it on me.
That's what attendants are for.
Yes, I know.
That must be the matron with the woman. Open the door. Maintain the utmost dignity, please.
Yes?
Is this the compartment of Pfeiffer, third level, Y51?
Yes.
I am matron of the woman's level.
Enter. I am Rykud, Pfeiffer's attendant. This is Pfeiffer.
I have brought a mate for you. This is she.
Be welcome. Praise the ship.
Praise the ship.
Her name is Aylin.
Welcome, Aylin.
I am most happy to be here. Praise the ship.
Come. I will show you which compartment is to be ours. This way. There are 5 compartments in this suite, and ours will be this.
Will you take food, matron? Why do you look at me that way?
That mark on your forehead. You have always had such a mark?
Yes.
And you have another diamond-shaped on your right shoulder?
How could you know such a thing?
Your name is Rykud.
Rykud.
How like him you look.
How like whom?
Your father.
My what?
Of course, you could not know the meaning.
What do you say?
When you were born, like any of the people of the ship, you were taken immediately and placed in the nursery of the ship. You never knew who sired you, nor did they know you.
Naturally. It's according to the schedule.
Yes, it's according to the schedule.
I have a strange feeling toward you. I can't explain it.
What sort of feeling, Rykud?
As if we've met before. But that's impossible, of course.
Yes. Still, there have been cases, it is almost heresy to mention it, where a mother has been able to keep her child for a while.
Such a female would be turned over to the control chief and fed into the converter.
If she were discovered.
It is a criminal thing to do. It is said to warp the child so that he becomes a heretic at an early age.
Yes, it is very, very criminal.
Still, you say there have been cases?
Once there was a woman, it is said, an attendant, who managed to conceal such a child behind one of the forbidden doors for almost 3 years.
Behind the doors? It's unspeakable.
Very likely only a rumor.
It's shocking to hear of such things. Behind the forbidden doors.
You're shocked, and yet something seems to stir deep in your memory, perhaps.
Nothing.
You're certain?
Why do you speak to me thus, woman?
Come closer.
What is it?
Closer. Where there's no chance that we'll be overheard.
Well?
Rykud, you are that child.
I will not listen. I will not listen.
You are that child.
How could you know such a thing?
I am 70 units of age. 25 units ago, I was a matron of the nursery. This person came to me and told me of her child, which she had concealed in the space lock behind the forbidden door. She begged me to take it and place it in the nursery with the other children. I had been her attendant for many years, and we were close to each other. I did as she asked.
But are you certain this child was me?
I remember the marks upon it.
And I am doomed.
Why doomed?
I have known my own parent. This accounts for the strange feelings that come over me sometimes.
What feelings are those?
A sense of wonder.
Ah.
You seem pleased.
Rykud.
What?
Your superior returns, I cannot speak. But if you would satisfy this sense of wonder, I have a book which I will give you.
I cannot accept a book without the supervision of the ship's librarian.
Take this one. Keep it concealed. Here.
Take
it quickly. They're coming.
Well, what are you two whispering about?
I was merely explaining to your attendant how he must behave in the presence of your mate.
There is no need to explain. All is scheduled. Nothing is questioned. Praise the ship.
Praise the ship. I hope that your union will produce the optimum number of children. I leave now.
Aylin.
Yes, Chrysler.
Your duties will be very simple. Reichert will teach you how to prepare my meals, and you will memorize my schedule. In 3 months, he will be freed from service as my attendant, and he will report to the second level to find a mate in the attendant class.
Yes, Chrysler.
It's time for my health treatment. Teacher Reichert.
Yes, Chrysler. Come here. Closer, where I may examine you. This is Chrysler's schedule. You will memorize it.
Yes.
Here is a list of permissible deviations.
Oh, I'm familiar with it, naturally.
I see. I was not aware of what training you received on the women's level.
The matron trained us well.
Good. You have been with the matron a long time?
Ever since I left the nursery.
I see. What is she called?
Mara.
Mara? Tell me, did she ever speak to you of a sense of wonder?
Are you of the control police?
Certainly not.
Then you should know better than to discuss feelings.
I'm sorry. I thought perhaps...
What's that?
The change bell. There has been some change.
It frightens me. Oh, what does it mean?
I don't know. I heard it only once before. When the ship passed very close to a red planet, there was a shower of stars, and the ship seemed to shake, and the change bell rang. We were all summoned to the priest and told that we must undergo a test for radioactivity.
What are we to do now?
Reichert, Aylin, quickly. It is the change bell. We are all summoned to the priest of our level. Quickly!
Within a few moments, the people of the third level of the ship were assembled in the area outside the compartment of Chul, the priest. They stood there trembling, listening, and panicked to the clangor of the change bell, not daring to wonder what it meant, but aware that something different had happened. Something different.
I'm frightened.
Hush! The priest is coming.
The ship is all. Praise the ship.
Praise the ship.
Listen to Chul, your priest. I have just been in contact with the chief priest of the ship. This is what I have been given to say. For 10,000 years now, ever since the ship began the voyage which has no end, we have lived as one people following the schedule. In those years, the change bell has rung only twice. On one occasion, it was to announce a change in the schedule or the preservation of the people of the ship following the epidemic. On another occasion, the ship passed close to a radioactive explosion, and it was feared that we had become dangerously activated. Now the change bell has rung again. You wish to know the reason, naturally. I am given to tell you there has been a change in the sound of the motor. There is no cause for alarm. The priests have consulted the book, which no man may see save the high priest. And we have learned that there is in the book a provision for a change in the sound of the motors. The book says, when the ship shall enter into the orbital pool of its destination, the motors will change in sound due to the increased anti-gravity components. A study is being made to interpret the meaning of the word destination, which was lost some 4,000 years ago and has always been a subject for much controversy. But this need not concern you. Suffice to be reassured that the change in the sound of the motors is a part of the scheme of things. Return to the schedule. The ship is all. Praise the ship.
The ship is all. Praise the ship.
On his way back to his compartment, Rykud stopped for a moment in front of the forbidden door which led to no one knew what, and listened to the sound of the motors. Yes, it was true. There was a new sound. It was frightening, and yet at the same time it made Rykud's heart leap with expectation. He looked at the forbidden door again and read the warning.
No unauthorized persons permitted through this door.
Attendant?
Yes.
What's your name and compartment?
Rykud, attendant to Kryfer, third level, Y51. Who are you?
Graf, control police. Why do you loiter outside the forbidden door?
I was merely reading the warning, trying to impress it upon my brain.
Is there a need to impress it? You have doubts?
Well, no. No, of course not.
Then why bother to impress it? If you have no doubts, there is no need to impress it.
Well, I was merely... You see, I am engaged in the training of a mate for my superior. I wish to make certain that she knows every jot and line of the warning.
Has she doubts?
I'm sure she does not.
Then why impress the warning upon her? It should be sufficiently impressed upon her since birth.
I was merely...
You were merely loitering, eh? Tell me, Rykud, do you ever wonder what is behind the forbidden door?
Never.
Are you perfectly content?
Perfectly.
Good. I'm going to enter your name in my report as a warning. See that it is not repeated.
I will see.
Return to your compartment.
I will return. Praise the ship.
Praise the ship.
Rykud went back to his own compartment. He tried to push the events of the day out of his mind. It was almost too much to cope with. First, the mate for Kryper, then the news of his birth, now the change in the sound of the motors, and the book. Rykud lay inside his bunk, drew the curtain, and took the tiny, ancient plastic book from his trouser belt. He opened it and began to read.
It was thought advisable to keep from the passengers on the ship the fact that their voyage might end in catastrophe. Forced to leave the Earth because of its radioactivity following the 3 wars, the inhabitants of the ship, to all intents and purposes, became the inhabitants of a new world. The ship was their world. The organizers of the expedition felt it would be cruel to inform them that the ship's navigation machinery had been set in a series of ever-increasing circles and then ever-decreasing circles, so that in 10,000 years the ship would return to Earth. There was the possibility that Earth would no longer exist, or that the radioactivity would have made it uninhabitable, even if the remaining humans hadn't managed to explode it. Therefore, the ship became all. Even the word destination was eliminated. If it were known that I had chronicled this account, I would most certainly be executed and the book destroyed. Most likely it will pass into legend and be disbelieved anyway, just as fairy tales and even biblical accounts have become tolerated but disbelieved by many who were...
The sleep buzzer sounded, and Rykud's eyes closed automatically. Ordinarily, the people of the ship did not dream. It was considered a sign that therapy was needed. Tonight, Rykud dreamed.
Rise. Dress. Eat.
Raise the ship.
Rise. Eat. Dress.
The ship is all.
Rykud.
No.
Rykud.
What? Shh. What is it?
You've been dreaming. I heard you and came in to see what was troubling you.
Where's Kryfer?
He sleeps like the dead.
I was dreaming. Ellen, look at me and tell me the truth. Do you ever dream? Do you?
Yes.
I knew it. I could tell it by looking at your eyes.
But you mustn't tell anyone.
I won't. You were very close to the matron, were you not?
Yes.
Did she ever read to you?
Read?
Did she ever read from this?
Where did you get that?
She gave it to me.
Then you must be one of the trusted ones.
Who are the trusted ones?
Some of us, the women who were with the matron since we were very small. We've been trusted by her to hear the reading of this book.
I see.
But if anyone found out...
I know.
Rykud?
Yes?
I feel very strange.
I, too.
What is it?
I don't know.
Sometimes, after the matron had read to us from the book, I would have this feeling, strange and frightened. And she would comfort us.
Comfort? What does that mean?
She would put her arms around us.
And did that comfort you?
Yes.
How terribly strange.
Rykud,
Yes?
comfort me. Put your arms around me.
Helen.
Please, will you?
Yes. Yes, yes.
On the following morning, when Kreifer went to the conditioning room, as prescribed by the buzzer, Rykud drew Aylin over to the spaceport and slid aside the protective shield.
Look.
I am looking.
Tell me what you see.
I see the stars and space.
Look closely. Do you see nothing unusual?
I so seldom look through the spaceport.
I'll tell you then. Look there. See that one star, so big and so bright that it hurts your eyes?
Well?
I've been watching it. It is growing larger each hour.
Stars do that.
Never has one been this large.
What difference does it make? The stars exist only as pictures in the glass of the viewport. They're not real. The ship is all.
That is what we are told, but perhaps it isn't true.
What?
Perhaps these stars do not exist only in the glass of the viewport. Perhaps they exist beyond the viewport.
I don't understand.
Let me say it this way once and forever. Perhaps, Aylin, the ship is not all.
Rykud, your heresy frightens me. Rykud, hold me close. It frightens me even to look at you. Oh, Rykud, you mustn't even think it.
I do think it. I believe it. I believe the ship is not all.
And I believe you are a candidate for the converter.
Kreifer.
Don't move, Rykud, or I'll blast you into dust. It is bad enough for an attendant even to touch his superior's mate, but to couple it with the ultimate heresy. There is nothing but death in this.
Kreifer, I beg of you.
Stand aside, Aylin. I'm going to finish this heretic. Now, Rykud.
Have I killed him?
No, he's just stunned.
Oh, Rykud, what can we do?
I don't know.
Rykud, the change bell again. Something's happening.
I know what has happened. Come, we'll go to the priest.
What about Kreifer? He'll have us killed.
No, it's too late to think of that. Come. Come, Aylin. Stand close to me. The priest is entering.
Silence! Once again, the change bell has sounded. There has been another change. Doubtless you all felt the shock and the vibration a moment ago. I am informed that the motors have stopped. Silence! However, once again, there is no need for any panic or alarm. We will continue to live our lives just as before. The only thing that has changed is that the motors have stopped and that the view in the viewports has changed. Behold. The view in the viewports has been changed from the stars to a garden. That is all there is to it. The book makes mention of the fact that the view in the viewports is changeable. Go back to your compartments and resume the schedule. The buzzer will be your guide as always. The ship is all.
The ship is all.
Wait! No, I have something to say. Listen, this is what I have to say. The ship is no longer all.
Seize him!
Keep back! I have my superior's ray gun. I will destroy any who move to seize me. Listen to what I have to say. The view in the viewports is not just a garden. It is the destination. It is the earth. Don't you understand me? We have arrived. We have reached the destination. The journey is over. We can leave the ship and go out into the garden. Fools, can't you understand? Watch the viewport. Watch it. The viewport is broken. I've shattered it. You can go out. Feel the air rush in. Smell its fragrance.
Rykud, they don't move. They don't understand.
Seize him! Kill the heretic! Kill him!
Rykud, they're moving toward us.
Run. Follow me quickly.
After him! Death to the heretic!
Reichert and Aylin ran down the long steel corridor with the crowd on their heels. After a few moments, they came to the forbidden door of the control room.
Aylin, quick, in here.
Reichert, it's forbidden.
I'll have to blast the lock. Quickly, now come. Now, help me close the door. Now the bar. We're safe in here for a while. Not even the priest can make them come in here after us. It'll take them time to figure out what to do.
Reichert, look. Look at the machinery. Oh, it's frightening.
We're in the control room. It tells about it in the book. You see this big machine here? There was a drawing in the book. This is the machine that controls the buzzer.
Just a simple machine like that?
Yes, a simple machine. Stand back.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to smash it. Now they're going to have to find a way to live without the buzzer.
Reichert, they're breaking down the door.
Come with me.
Where can we go? There's nothing except the ship.
No, there is more than the ship now, Aylin. There's the Earth. The cool green Earth. I'm going to smash the viewport. Come on. We're going to leave the ship.
Reichert, I'm frightened. Put your arms around me.
There's nothing to be afraid of. Come, Aylin. Take my hand. Here is the Earth. And it is ours.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features a story by F.L. Wallace titled Mesereau Loves Company. When Marcus Mesereau set out on his mission to Earth, he was driven by pride and indignation, plus a practical reason. But if he'd known what lay ahead, he might have decided to let bad enough alone. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Sense of Wonder, based on a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Milton Lesser and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were James Monks, Bill Quinn, Edwin Jerome, Vera Allen, Rita Lloyd, Joe DeSantis, and Dick Hamilton. Raymond Edward Johnson was the narrator. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
supposed to be on? No shit, man. I didn't know that, man. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. So how's everything going, people? What's up? How the heck are you? How you doing? I'm whooped. I am freaking worn out. Yeah, I'm worn out. Went to the Forum last night to take 4 girls to see Niall Horan from One Direction. I didn't go in. I just drove. I was just the driver. I sat in the car and watched some Cobra Kai, dude. Deadly. And chilled out. I just chilled out, man. I'm just doing the super dad thing. Let's see, we got home at about 2:20. I was laying in bed at about 3:20, and I was wide awake at 4. Here I am. Here you go. I mean, you'd think, right? God, he looks like he's been awake half the day, right? That's just the way it is, man. I get up and I'm instant on. I'm not functionary, feng shui. Nothing functions at that hour. Nothing's working right now. My body is completely shut down. The only thing working right now is my mind, and that's running on fumes, people. Fumes. Yeah, what kind of fumes? Yeah, probably pot fumes, a freaking pothead. It's for kids only. I mean, not for kids. This is for adults only. Not for adults only, but you know what I mean. Not for the wee ones. You like that flame up there? So, yeah. Boy, if there was ever a morning that I could have used technical difficulties, it was this morning. I got hit with that, update for my online broadcasting software, OBS. And this is the second time that I have pushed Remind Me Later. Mainly because I don't want to have to deal with the technical difficulties that will probably follow its update. All the adjustments, everything that I've done is going to go out of whack. And I'm going to be screwed, right? So I'm going to wait until I'm not so wiped out. And then maybe I'll get up at 4 a.m. Next Monday when it reminds me again, and I'll just let it update then, and then just roll with whatever punches it throws at me as far as technical difficulties. The TDs, I hate them TDs, man. Dude, I totally got the TDs. I was looking, thinking, my God, I've been on a half an hour already? Oh, that's right, we just listened to a radio show. One of my favorite X-1 episodes. It's A Sense of Wonder. What happens if you put people on a rocket ship and send them out 10,000 years and let them come back? What happens to them after they've been out there 10,000 years? Do they even remember why they're out there? Do they remember what the destination is, or even what destination means? So it's one of my favorite ones. The ship is all. Praise the ship. They would build a whole religion around it, right? Because it would be everything. It would be all. A mechanized spaceship that keeps its people alive, right? Wow, that's some heavy shit, man. Is there anybody there? Because I tell you what, I may not be around here long this morning. I may be here like an hour and just say, I'm going to go back to bed. I passed out right over here this morning on our day bed because I did not want to deal with getting into bed with my wife and the dogs and the noise and the movement, and then only be there for 45 minutes to an hour, and then then that alarm, and then the snoozing. So it was like, you know what, I'm just going to go in here, and then if I snooze, it's on me. It's nobody's issue. You know, it took me probably a half an hour to get from laying down to where I was actually forcing myself to go to sleep. The night before last, I had probably 5 hours sleep, which is about normal, right? It's been better when I do about 3 or 4 hours sleep at night and then 3 or 4 hours sleep during the day. Then I'm getting really good chunks of sleep, right? There's not back to back, but it's good enough. Yeah, the sleep I had yesterday, the night before last, that sleep, it was not sufficient for this kind of longevity. It's just not working. Hey, there's somebody out there. I know there's somebody out there. I see an increase in my population. So good morning, whoever you are. So yeah, the trip to LA was good. I find that it's the one thing that I can still do really, really well is drive. I am so accustomed and attuned to the Southern California freeway system. You know, it's just I told my daughter I've got freeways for arteries, you know. I've got freeways in my arteries. Yeah, driving is just a ball. It's fun. You know, it's crazy. It's hazardous out there. It's fucking a wackadoo world. But I enjoy the highway. I enjoy the ride. I enjoy the vroom vroom. You know, what can I say? Southern California, born and raised. I love to drive. I don't get to drive enough. I don't allow myself to drive a lot, especially locally, because if I drive locally, I tend to get more aggressive and pissed off because I'm home, and how dare all of these people, you know, invade my hometown and cause all of this horrendous traffic in my town, and you know, half the people are fucking idiots anyway, and the other half are just duh. But when I get out of town, I find that I'm more able to ignore the other idiots, the people. I'm more into the drive because it's all about the drive and the destination. Out here, it's just going from here to, you know, the market or to a place to work. And it can be a real bummer in that 10-15 minute drive, you know. A round trip, it's, you know, half an hour drive to the other end of town and back. And then if you tack in Walmart or the supermarket and all the idiots in there, then it can be, you know, it can be kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh man, I got a whole bunch more movies. Loaded into my computer and processed and saved. And I'm up to about 50. I'm at 49, right? And most of these seem like they're going to be usable, right? There are a couple that seem copyright questionable, and there are a couple that seem a little A little over the edge. 18, Sex Madness. It's a 1930s sexploitation, right? So it's more funny than about sex, right? So that one's probably passable unless it's got a copyright issue. Madness and Medicine. It's an hour-long special on mental health care, basically. Before they called it mental health care. And that one has got a lot of tricky situations with people of a mental health persuasion. All right, I'm just going to say it that way. So that one's kind of, I don't know. And then there's one that's called Not Tonight, Henry, right? And that one is probably not going to make it to YouTube. It's a stag film from the 60s. And it's just a lot of TNA. That's all it is. It's just a lot of, you know, oops, my top is gone, look at my boobs kind of thing. And then we'll jiggle, you know, and that's about it. It's nothing really overtly sexual. It's nothing overtly perverse. It's just a lot of, you know, hey, my bosoms are out. You know, and let's go get it. So, I don't know. I think it's funny. I think it's just from what I saw. I didn't even get to listen to it, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. I don't know. I don't have a problem with boobs. You know, ain't nothing wrong with boobs. Do you like boobs alive? Boobs alive, boobs alive. They're big and round. They're all around. They're big and round. They're all around. Yeah, I like boobs. Boobs are good. Boobies, boobies, boobies. Boobies. If you were a girl when I was in high school that I ever arm wrestled, it was the boobies. It was just a way to get close to you and look at your boobies. That's all it was. Hey, you want to arm wrestle? Come on, let's go. And I'd get in there and I'd be just gawking at your boobies. I mean, whether you knew it or not, that's what I was doing. Alright, I gotta warm up my coffee. Don't go anywhere, because if you do, then I'll have to be alone. Well, I'm tired. Okay. So yeah, boobs. No, really. Speaking of boobs, gosh, I was watching Cobra Kai last night at the Forum, sitting there, hanging out, and I was like, geez, that last season 5, that all of the kids are just getting so big. It's like even the kids that are supposed to be going from junior high into high school already look like they're halfway through high school at this point, right? All the girls who are supposed to be in high school, right? Within, like, it's supposed to be like over a year, right? 1 year, one season, I think, equals a year, right? Take the summer off, come back, and then the season picks up that school year, I guess. And then sometimes we get a piece of the summer, right? But they try to give the kids a chance to evolve and grow up and stuff, so that when we come back a year later or something, we see, you know, changes. But the girls, what I was getting at was that the girls seem to be undergoing some severe puberty, right? Which is pretty hilarious, because while in the 5th season they don't really try to cover it up, it seems like in the 6th season here, the one blonde-haired girl who got rather robust, they seem to have toned her down a little bit, and I think maybe she lost a little weight and thinned out a little bit. And I'm sure they're not strapping her down like they did Judy Garland for The Wizard of Oz, right? They don't do that anymore. I'm sure she didn't get a boob job, but she does look like reduced. I'm sure they didn't airbrush it out, or green screen away her boobies or something. But I just, being a booby guy, I noticed that. Here you go. But back to Cobra Kai, I'm really quite impressed with their attention to detail as far as going back to the original stories and bringing those original story elements to life in the now, right? I really like the way that Johnny and Danny, the two rivals, are actually becoming friends reluctantly, mainly because their women have become friends. And Johnny wants to change. He wants to be a good guy. He doesn't want to be the bad guy because he's always been the bad guy, and he knows it. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking about Cobra Kai, right? But it's a good show. So, and it makes me want to go back and watch I think one of the best parts about this last season and the beginning of this season that I've seen is the character chosen from Japan. He was Danny's Daniel. He was Daniel's rival when Daniel went to Japan in the second movie. Great movie. I'd love that one. But that one's really hard to watch back to back with the first one, because in the second one he comes back to do the second one and he's grown like a foot. I mean, literally, it's not that much, but it seems like it. And he really, in order to match up to Miyagi, because before he was like Miyagi, and then it's like all of a sudden, and he's doing a lot of that hunching over thing and leaning on stuff, and it's freaking hilarious. Yeah, I mean, going from, and it's supposed to happen like he leaves and goes to Japan, and it's only like weeks, after the first movie, and it's so it's hard to watch them really close together. You got to give it a little time so you're not going, geez, really? I think even some of the stuff that from the first movie that they show in the second movie, you can literally tell in one scene he's this, and then they shoot the stuff to match up for the second movie, and it's like, yeah, there you go. That's it, that's puberty for you, and that's growing. Oh man, this coffee is good. It's not waking me up, but it's good. I am probably gonna drink most of that, and then lay down. Looks like I dropped a few frames. Keep dropping a few frames. Let me know if it gets a little glitchy. Yeah. Now, once I got on live, it was like, good. I hope I don't have any technical difficulties, because I hate that while it's happening live. I would prefer to do a short show than to have it plagued with technical difficulties through the whole thing, right? So, we'll see. I'll try to keep my eyes on it, on my dashboard here. My technicals. Did he say testicles? Shh. Don't say that in mixed company. What do you mean, mixed company? What, like fruit and nuts? Fruits and nuts. Boy, talk about fruits and nuts at a Niall Horan concert. I mean, there were so many. I'm just sitting in the car and I'm just watching. We got there pretty early, so the parking lot was just minimal when we got there. And so I got to watch all of these people go by. We got to park right next to, right in front of the merchandise trailer. So I was really close, which means I, crank the windows down and I can hear everything. I didn't. I was, I didn't want to hear the ruckus. I was trying to relax for the ride home. But a lot of very similarly dressed girls. A lot of guys, right? A lot of dads and a lot of boyfriends. It was really cool. I dig it. And I'm totally, in a parking lot for a concert at the LA Forum, the Inglewood Forum. I'm sorry, the Kia Forum, the fabulous Forum. And I'm just flashing back to this concert and that concert and these people and getting tickets for that and doing this. And yeah, just awesome sauce, And it's neat to go to a show, right? It's neat. It's fun to go to a concert with your kid and do all of that stuff, or with your wife and kid. And it's just as much, it's just as much fun. It's a different fun, but it's just as much fun being super dad to your daughter and her 3 friends. That's fun. That's really cool. And I don't have to say much. I don't have to do much, say something funny every now and again, like a dad. Hope it's funny. Hope they laugh, like a dad, and drive, and make sure everybody's safe. And that's me. That's my job. And the youngest girl there, and I think she's, don't even, 12, 15, something like that. She was talking about people, upset that we cut them off in the parking lot trying to get out, right? And I just put on horse blinders. You have to. You just put on horse blinders. You ignore people until it's appropriate for you to let them in front of you, right? Like there was one person that kept nudging and nudging and nudging, and I just ignored them. I ignored them until I got parallel out with everyone else, and then I stopped. And I waited until people walked by, and they were like, "Urgh," and I had my blinders on, so I didn't see anything. I didn't feel anything. It was like, okay, this is going to start moving now. Now I can let you in front of me, and if it happens again, we're moving. And good karma, within seconds of having let this person in front of me, the clouds lifted and the sea parted, and we were on our way. And then we continued movement forward, on out onto Kareem, and then over onto Pinkay, and then down to Crenshaw, and then over to Manchester, going the wrong way and flipping a U-ey, and headed back towards the 110 to the 10. And then we took the 10 to In-N-Out. For some reason, she said, "Hey, our In-N-Out is closed. We better find an alternate." So we shot over and found an alternate over in Rosemead, and got some good food there. Good grub, good people. Every In-N-Out I go, without question, is the finest fast food staff. I hate to call In-N-Out fast food. It's fast food. It's good fast food. It's it's SoCal fare is what it is. It's SoCal fare. It's more than fast food. It is SoCal fare. It is the food of Southern California. A big, juicy Southern California cheeseburger, fries, and a Coke. And you can only get that at a select few places in Southern California. You can sometimes find it out of Southern California, right? I think the furthest I've been from Southern California and found a really, really good burger was in Walker, California, just south of Topaz, Nevada, right? Which is just south of Carson. And Walker Burger operates half the year. It only operates during fishing season because the rest of the year it's too snowy usually. The weather's too bad. They may be actually operating more now with the weather being as weird as it is. But the neat thing about Walker Burger was they only staffed, they're world famous, all right? You go there and you see they've got a magazine, photos everywhere where people are constantly taking their Walker Burger magazine to different places around the country and getting a photo of that. So that was pretty cool. But what's really neat about their restaurant locally there is there's a small high school, and they're staffed by the high school students, right? During fishing season, it's all summer long, a little bit of the spring, a little bit of the fall, but it's all summer long. So they're staffed by locals, and it's really, really cool. And the food, I don't know what it is about their burgers, but it is a really good burger. It's a really wide burger, really big and round, on a really nice low-cut bun. It's not a real tall bun. It's not all bread. It's one of those buns that just falls apart enough while you're eating it, so that when you're done, you're picking up pieces of bun, just like In-N-Out. I have my buns untoasted at In-N-Out, and they crumble more when they're untoasted. I don't know why. So yeah, so Walker Burger in Walker, California, is in this canyon right along the Walker River, north of Bridgeport, Lee Vining area, south of Carson, Minden, Gardnerville, Topaz, and then right there on the border, man. And yeah, I was only able to eat there a few summers, but when we were working, my friend Chris and I, when we were working painting a lady's house in Walker, in fact, we had a few jobs in Walker, but when we were in Walker and we were working there, it was like, hey man, if that place is open, we're eating there, man. I don't care. We eat 4 days in a fucking row at Walker Burger. I don't care, man. Really righteous place. Got a big yard fenced in with old rustic looking fence and wagon wheels and stuff, and you go back there and there's old cowboy looking chuck wagon benches type areas. That's just really, really cool. The half moon outhouse, and you go in and it's a real bathroom toilet in there. It's just really far out, right on the Walker River. Beautiful country. You drive through that canyon, Walker Canyon. Oh man, just beautiful, just sheer rocks and pine trees everywhere, and that water just moving through, man. Sometimes of the year it was just cooking through there so fast and hard, spilling up onto the highway, just crazy. Because the highway was built just up above what they considered to be enough to let the river go through, and it's never enough, because Mother Nature says, "Hey, I want my riverbed back." And sometimes the water just comes booking through there. Just booking. I'm warming it up again. Gotta do it. Holy hell. Oh my gosh, my daughter has the nicest friends in the world. Her girlfriends are just such sweethearts. They are really. They laugh at my jokes. What can I say? I'm not that funny. But they're really, really cool. They're just so polite, you know, and so quiet. And we're driving along, and I'm cranking up the music, you know. Even when my daughter's in control of the stereo, putting stuff on her from her phone, right? And it's like every once in a while you hear a giggle or somebody says something. I mean, back in our day, you know, we'd have a carload, you know, twice as many people packed into a small car, and you couldn't hear anything. All you heard was just people just talking, 3 different conversations going on, you know, just crazy. That was the thing when I was young, you know, that I remember the most, is when you got a bunch of people together, you know, and they're all just sitting around, hanging out, getting high, shooting the shit, and you'd have like all of these people sitting around. There'd be like multiple conversational cliques happening, you know, in the room, and you could like sit down and get into a conversation here, and then get up and go get a drink or a smoke or something, and then go sit down and in this conversation listen to what's going on, and, you know, interject, and it was just really cool that everybody knew each other enough, you know, and was comfortable enough to not have to, you know, let's all sit and talk about the same thing. Wait, it's his turn to talk. You know, I mean, it was just, you know, and these, you know, kids today, you know, it's like you could hear fingernails tapping and then giggles, and then fingernails tapping and then giggles, and it's like that's how conversations happen nowadays. You know, it's like my daughter looks at her phone, right, and so then she reaches down and she gets a bag of stuff and she pulls it and she says, "Oh, here, you're gonna have to look through it if you want." And it's like, really, she could have just said, "Hey, grab me that." You know, it's like the conversations now are electronic, right? It's like it was one thing to go from the phone to emails to the cell phone to texting to now it's texting is more powerful than actual verbal communication now, right? And they've made it so because it can be recorded, right? All of your texts, even the ones that you delete, are still recorded somewhere, right? They're still in a server. They're still locked up in a digital bank somewhere, waiting for somebody to use them as evidence against you for something, you know? Yeah, don't be fooled that, you know, that when you hit delete, that things just automatically are gone throughout the whole world. No way, man. That naked picture that you took and you deleted and you hoped it's out there, all right? If it got clouded up, it's out there somewhere, and someone can get a hold of it at some point for whatever nefarious purposes they have, right? Why is my naked picture all over the internet? I deleted that. You thought you deleted it. Oh my God. Geez, did I really have to put that there? Yeah, there's a purpose behind all of this technical crap that you think is set up to help us. It's set up to trap us in more ways than one. Yes, sirree, indeedy. Yes, sirree, Babarooney. Yeah, it's all a trap. Not catfishing, no, come on. Well, that too. But that's not what I'm going for, man. Like a trap? Shut up. Ooh, that's another one. There's one of those X-1s called the Trap, right? And it's a multi-dimensional space creature from another world. Multi-dimensional traveler. And he puts a snare trap in our dimension, right? and brings back little things, and then gets trapped in it. Oh well, anyway. Yeah. Anyways, Holmes, orale. Orale. Hit the cough button. It's not supposed to cough. That's not what it means. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I'm awake. Because that's what I do. I stay awake. But I'm not really awake, you know. I'm not like a here or whatever. Oh my gosh, you know. I keep thinking I'm hearing a dog, but right now I could probably start hallucinating at any point. I've had such little amounts of sleep. So, yeah, I'm probably going to lay back down here, have something to eat, because I got to nourish myself. But I'll probably try to lay back down by 9 or 10 and sleep till 4. And then I've already got a show set up ready. So I just have to get everything booted, load up my first 4 songs, and the show's ready to go. And I got new, not new opening, but I decided to create a new opening segment, right? So I created 5 new opening segments for the week, and each opening segment has 6 commercials / TV promos from the 70s, and then it's got my program guide and then my opening. So it's got commercials, my program guide, commercials, and then my opening. And then I did the ending as well, where I've got the ending and then some commercials, and then my is a promo. Did I do the promo at the end? I think I did the promo at the end too, so that I could try to, you know, cash in on anybody watching the beginning of the show or the end of the show is going to see my promo, and hopefully get more people to watch the pre-show with added enhancements. Right now, my pre-show before was putting on some music and staring at the what the hell? Why did my camera go off? Let me go check this out. I'll be right back. I think it was on battery. There it is. Yeah, you know what? Over the weekend, I did a little bit of rearranging in here. And I moved one of my cameras. I moved this camera. So it's a slightly different angle. I'm preparing to kind of switch everything around in this room. So anyway, I unplugged that camera and forgot to plug it back in. So it was on battery power this morning, and then it said, later, I got no more juice. So it's back. I'm barely here. You know, I'm running on fumes, I'm running on autopilot. Now that's one thing I have really, really cultivated in me is autopilot. Right? When I'm driving, I can put myself on autopilot, right? And just be the driver and totally be in my own world, but at the same time totally connected with what's going on in the car, right? when I'm working, especially doing these Airbnbs, but pretty much on all of my jobs, that I can find a routine. And there my camera just died again. You know what, I gotta check it just to make sure that it's the battery that's getting charged. Now it's plugged in. Right, okay. Just to make sure that it's working now, that I didn't screw something up, because I gotta have that camera for tonight. Oh, boy. So, let's see. We had a shower plumbing problem that my wife and I fixed. I couldn't do anything without her. She is my other half, right? I mean, we are literally connected. When I do anything, I have to have her right next to me, right? She can just, at this point, she can do things I cannot do anymore, right? My wrist right here, and my hands for the last few days have just been fucking hurting like hell. It's the arthritis, right? And crawling around on my hands and knees down there, I got that angle thing going, and that hurts. Not to mention the fingers, and then the using of the tools and the squeezing of stuff really, really hard and wrenching on things. I can't do that kind of shit anymore. That stuff hurts. I mean, really, literally hurts. So, that was a bummer. But we got it figured out. We got it figured out. I put everything back together on there, and the new piece that we put on to replace the piece that was leaking was superb. You know, I got the gasket and the silicone and everything, and then she cleaned it up magnificently, and I tightened that down and got that on there nice and snug, and I put all the rest of the new pipes on there, the new P-trap and everything, and had her pour water down the drain, right? Because I didn't want to affect the silicone yet. But I wanted to test it, and as soon as she was pouring water down that thing, it started leaking in all of the connections, right? I was like, geez, and they've all got gaskets and seals and everything. And I was like, okay, give me that tube of silicone, you know, and I just like Vaseline or oil on gaskets, right? I just took that silicone and I just put a bead of silicone everywhere there was a connection that was supposed to seal. I just put silicone there. I said, fuck it. I'm not getting down here again to deal with this ever again. This has got to be done. Unless somebody drops a ring in that fucking P-trap, I'm not pulling this shit apart. Or until I decide to remodel, right? So I did that through the whole thing that I had taken apart and replaced. I put silicone on all of the joints, all the connections. Threaded everything back together with the gaskets and the silicone, nice and tight, got it up back in the right spot, and we left it overnight. The next afternoon, thankfully my wife volunteered, well, I volunteered her to go down instead of me, and stand and get under there and watch to see if anything was going to leak. And I plugged up that drain and filled up the shower floor, and said, is anything leaking? Because that would be the seal around the drain. And waited and nothing was leaking. So I was like, okay. So I turned that water back on and I pulled that plug, and I figured that whoosh of water, it should be squirting out, you know, everywhere, or at least dripping someplace immediately with that much water going through. And we let it run and run and run and run, and there was nothing. And I was like, oh my goodness, thank you. And you could totally tell that this had been leaking for quite a while and was the cause of more than one or two issues in the house. The floor especially, with the warping and the bowing of the floor. So, mobile home life. Yay. So, we were trying to deal with the swamp cooler, and we dealt with 2 or 3 issues just in the amount of time we wanted to deal with the swamp cooler. And my goodness, along with having to pay registration renewal on 2 vehicles, among other things that pop up. But now the only thing we have to do is put new pads on the swamp cooler. And while it sounds really, really easy, and it probably is and will be, it's just such a challenge just to think about doing it, let alone doing it. And once again, my other half is going to have to deal with a lot of the physicality of it, Look, I'll pull these pads off so I know how they go back on, but, you're going to have to clean this. And that's, that's just the way I function now is, look, I can do this much of it, but you're going to have to help me with this much of it. I used to be able to do this much of it and then say, give me more, and now it's like,
I don't want any more, please. Somebody else do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oi, mate. Yeah, I'm pretty wiped out. Pretty wiped. Out. Wiped out.
What out?
I don't think I want a bagel today. I don't think I want a bagel. I don't really know. We don't really have a lot of good breakfast food. I'm not a breakfast eater. Usually it's a cereal bar, and then by 8 or 9 I'm like, where's some lunch? Cheese and crackers. Ooh, cheese and crackers. That sounds good. Man. Man, my eyelids feel like those iron gates that slide down in the castles, No entry, dude. Man, I can barely keep them open. Nah, I'm not that tired. Sleepy, but I'm not tired. Well, I'm tired, but I'm not let's face it, I'm pooped.
Cheese.
Yeah, before, YouTube, me doing YouTube, before this, and before a few years ago when I microdosed some mushrooms for 6 weeks, twice a week, a little tiny, itty tiny little bit, you couldn't even feel it, but it did something, right? So I did that and kind of retrained my brain to go to a happy place when I was frustrated and out in the world and mad and stuff. And I also retrained myself to not hide from my emotions, right? If I have an emotion, I feel it, I express it, I live it, and then I move past it, right? So that I don't keep all of that shit bottled. I wish I'd have learned that 20, 30, 50 years ago, right? To just have the emotion. Don't let others keep you from having your emotion, you know. Like when I was a little kid, I would have my emotions, and I would be called crybaby, right? Hey, stop it, crybaby. Here's the crybaby again. And, you know, that put a stopper on me expressing emotion, all emotion, you know. And so it helped me to further withdraw from society and the world, and it further into my depression. Oh wow, man, I totally just had a mental lapse and forgot where the hell I was. Yeah. But I don't allow that now. I don't allow people to control my emotions by how it affects them, you know. If my emotions and me having them and expressing them affects you, right, so much so that you can't handle it and you want to call the cops because I'm upset, you know what, that's a dysfunction and a fault of your own brain. Don't put that shit on me. You know, that's you not being able to handle your emotions, right? I handle my emotions fine now. Why? Because I allow myself to live them. That's what emotions are for. Emotions are not to be stifled and packed away, and you know, and then you punish yourself for having those emotions, whatever emotions those are that are bad. You can have the good emotions, but not the bad emotions. Well, which ones are bad and which ones are good? They're all good. Have them. If you're mad, be mad. Don't let those mad emotions make you violent, but be mad. I'm fucking pissed off and I'm not going to take it anymore. You know, if you're sad, be sad. Fucking cry. Boo-hoo. You know, don't keep that sadness inside of you. Don't keep that anger inside of you. Let it out. Express it. Live it. Move past it. You know, I'm a much better person because of those three things, you know. Being able to just express my emotions and move on, and you know, not letting others control me and my emotions, you know, and all that other crap I was talking about. I need a bong hit. I need a bong hit. But yeah, I can totally dig it. If you have an emotion, fucking have it, you know. Especially if it's one that makes you an emotion that's difficult, you know, anger or sadness, right? If you hate something or someone, then have the emotion, but realize that it's not hate, right? Realize that it's not hate. It's just an emotion, right? And you don't have to live that hate. Have an emotion, move past it without hate involved. Look, you made me mad, you know. I'm not going to hate you over it, right? But you made me mad, you know. If somebody screws you over, you know, you have to make a decision to hate them, right? And that is going to screw you up, you know. But you can also just decide to make them a nothing, a cipher, a zero, right? They don't mean anything anymore. So therefore, if they don't mean anything, why would you want to wrap any emotion around that zero, that cipher? A big goose egg, right? So, you know, I had to learn that over the course of the last year, because I was really, really destined to spend a lot of emotion wrapped up in somebody else, right? And how that person affected my emotion, right? And I don't do that anymore, you know. I had the emotion. It took about 2 or 3 days to get over the emotion, but that was it. You know, I'm not going to let that define my character, you know. Oh, yeah. Life's too short for that shit. rather than wrap up all that emotion into hate against someone for something, why not just dissolve that friendship? It's gone. It's evaporated. It's no longer there. You know, good feelings gone. It's over. Period. And that's what I had to come to terms with. You know, that no matter how hard it was, how much it hurt to let that person go, that's what it had to be. You know, because you have to love yourself more. You know, and to wrap up hate and negative emotion into something and someone that isn't worth it, and you know, in the long run, it's just they're just not worth it. You know, if they can't see the worth in themselves, you know, that you do, then why the fuck should I bother, right? Why the fuck should you bother if they can't see it, if they can't, you know, pull their head out of their fucking ass? I'm not gonna try to fucking keep pulling. You know, let them walk around like that. It looks stupid. They're stupid, so not my issue anymore. I just have to erase that person, you know, and so that you can then move on and talk about that person that's gone, right, as if they are gone completely, because they're gone. You know, that phrase, "they're dead to me," he's dead to me. It's real. That is a real, true, honest thing. You know, you just have to say, okay, well, that person that I knew and loved and respected died a long time ago, right? And that person that I had dealings with recently was not that same person, you know. So if you make that distinction, you can hold on to good memories, right, and not have, well, now I have to erase everything going back to the beginning of time with that person and erase everything, or every time I think about that person I have to get mad, right? I don't do that, you know. I made the decision to, look, if I'm going to dwell on the recent things that caused the break, then I may get a little frustrated. But the person's gone, they're dead, you know, I ain't got to worry about it. They're dead to me. So it's not an issue. I can think about the good things back then, because, hey, they're gone, you know. Nothing can change that, you know. I still listen to Bill Cosby comedy. I still watch Fat Albert, right? I don't watch Ghost Dad, but I still watch I Spy. Why? Because I can make the distinction between the past and the present, right? I can decide, look, I'm not going to let the artist affect the art, you know. Fat Albert taught me a lot of valuable life lessons watching that show. It's unfortunate that the creator and star of that show, Bill Cosby, did not learn his own life lessons, right? That's unfortunate. Not my fault, and I'm not going to stop watching Fat Albert. I'm not going to stop, you know, I never watched Cosby. It wasn't my favorite show, so I don't care about that. But, you know, I'm still going to listen to his, I'm not going to break all of his records because he screwed up in the now. It doesn't have anything to do with the art that he created in the past, you know. There you go. You have to separate the art from the artist. You have to separate the past from the present, the good from the bad, you know. Okay, all of that stuff is bad. I'm not even going to deal with that. And that's all gone. That's erased. The good, it's over here, but it's still good, so I'm going to keep it, you know. Cut off the bad pieces, throw them to the crocodiles, and keep the good pieces and put them in the fridge. I got to warm this up. Yeah, I feel a mignon. I feel a soup week coming up. Man, I'm out of it. I'm sick of food. I'm sick of eating. I'm sick of chewing. I mean, I'm just sick of digesting. I'm sick of looking at food, smelling food, cooking food, tasting food, touching food. Just over food. You know, give me 4 Ensures a day and an IV drip. You know, probably not far from that now. But I'm just sick of it. Ever since my tastes changed for the worse, only a few things taste good. I'm getting burned out on the stuff that I can still taste, right? That still tastes good. So I'm gonna have to go to some really robust soups and sauces and stuff and try to come up with a liquidish diet, you know. A good tomato bisque, some broccoli and cheddar, stuff that's really, really good, really pleasing to the palate still. Pardon me. But really, really digestible, That and those soups and stuff, you can get them, like from Vaughn's, a little tub of fresh soup, fresher than canned, and bring it home and spruce it up, butter up a baguette and toast it up, a little crunchy and chewy, with one of those little round bread balls, that stuff's great. Just butter the hell out of it, warm it up in the oven, and it just gets really hot and chewy inside, and then just got that crisp layer, buttery layer outside. So yeah, soups and stews and beans, lentil soup. My wife makes a mean lentil soup. She'll just grab the lentils and a little of this and a little of that, and just start. Boom! Hey, honey, you want some lentils? Oh yeah. Yeah, a little bit of, French bread or baguette or bolillo or something, tortilla, crackers. Yeah. I like those big 15-bean things because you can put a lot of meat in that, and little tiny bits that have been, the meat that I cook melts in your mouth, right? So that with beans, and you're getting just max protein, right? But a lot of fiber, right? That's probably my favorite accompaniment with a homemade cheeseburger is some baked beans, Bush's baked beans. Burger, beans, and a beer or a Coke. But I gotta lay off the burgers. I haven't eaten, it's like been a burger summer, I'm gonna have to go to okay, the only burgers I'm gonna have are when we go to a concert and I get an In-N-Out burger, because I'm just, and you can get burned out on In-N-Out. It's not an everyday food. It's not. It's too real. It's too good, right? You don't want to get burned out on it, and I'm starting to get burned out on it. Of course, my daughter's young. She doesn't get enough of it, out here in the desert. We ain't got an In-N-Out. So she looks forward to those outings. Sometimes we'll go out, like to the mall or something, and we're like, you want to go out In-N-Out? And she's like, no, we're going to a concert in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something. We can get it then. It's like, oh, okay. Smart kid. Don't get burned out. And I just told her, look, you got to get us a room at out in Vegas, because we're doing that concert, The Killers, and we're going to have to stay for 2 nights, as much as I don't want to. But I can't drive. I can do Los Angeles and back, because that's 2.5 hours one way, and then 2.5 hours back. It's double that going to Vegas from here. So it's going to be 4 or 5 hours going out, maybe 6 if there's traffic, and then that coming back. And I can't do that long of a stretch anymore. I could do it in the car. I could do, whatever time it took to go out there, have a concert and come back. I could do that much time in a car, but that much time in a car and trying to enjoy a concert, oh heck no. No. I can't even do the drive out there and go to the show and then go to a room. It's literally going to have to be, look, we're going to have to go out there the day before, check into a room, get situated, try to have a little fun entertainment, and then go to the show, right? And I'm not sure who it's going to be yet. I think it's 3 of us, but I'm not sure who it's, no, it's 2 of us to Vegas for the Killers. It's just her and I. So, it should be fun. I'd like it if the whole family could go, the wife included, but unfortunately, we have, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, we have dogs and they need to be cared for. So, and I don't trust anybody. I could give a shit about my house and stuff in my house. Sure, come over, hang out, whatever. But my dogs, I don't like trusting people with my dogs. It's like trusting somebody with my kid. I'm not comfortable with that. Sure, take my car. I'm not one that's like overly attached to property. It's just shit, man. It's just shit. But the lives of my dogs and my daughter, wife, these are things that I worry about. So to go out of town for 2 days and have to have somebody come over and take care of the dogs, that's not a big deal. But man, I would just be totally freaked out the whole time. Did they close the door? Did they latch the gate? Did they latch the gate behind them when they went in to let the dogs out? And did they make sure? It would drive me nuts. It would drive me freaking bananas, not knowing every single second what my dogs are doing. And when there's someone here, I never have to worry about that. My wife, my daughter, me, or we're just running out of town for a little bit, and they're home dogs, so I know when they're at home, they're good. I would assume from what I see about them is they probably just kind of hang out and sleep, and one of them probably chews on stuff, and one of them probably tries to be bossy. That's probably what happens when we're gone. Other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot that goes on with the dogs. I'm going to have to get a dog camera. I would really like to know what my dogs do when we're not here. That would be something neat to know. Before I die, I want to see my dogs playing without me in the house. I want to see them romping in the water in the lake. I really want to get these guys, if we're going to go anywhere and take these guys anywhere, it would be camping where there's a lake and they could enjoy the water, All right, you guys, if you ain't coming out, you're going to have to stay on shore because Papa's going out into the water. Hee-hee. Oh, yeah. Get them doggies swimming. I'd love to see that. I'd love to experience that. That's one of those things that I always try to do with all of my dogs throughout the years, is play in the water with them. Here, fetch. Or just get in there and swim around with them. Get them to stand up on something and float. Run with them up and down the shoreline, splashing in the water. Yeah, buddy. Boy, howdy. Yeah. Totally cool. But hey, I'm living the dream. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Not much. Not much. What am I gonna do? I am probably going to finish up creating videos for next month and start uploading them. Right? If I keep up on it and do a little bit every week or every day and do it just during the weekdays and just do a little bit every day, I should be able to kind of continue what I'm doing throughout the rest of the summer. And then after about 3 months of the way I'm doing programming now, I'm probably going to change the channel again and do something different, because by then I will have uploaded like almost 1,000 or more videos onto my channel, and that is a lot. And yeah, I could get into copyright issues. So I think I'm going to let this summer of programming stand and start culling out the stuff. Some of the stuff has a lot of views, right? But it does have copywritten content. So I think I'm just going to start culling stuff out. Stuff that's been on there for 2 or 3 months. Maybe say, okay, well, I'm going to pick 3 months. Pick a summer, 3 months. All right, so stuff was uploaded here. It's been 3 months. I'm going to delete it now. All of its analytics, all its statistics and stuff are gone. That many fewer likes and whatever. And just roll with the punches, right? Because that's not what is important to me as continuing the journey, whatever this is, you know. And mainly this channel, and especially the morning show, has been kind of just all self-exploration, really. You know, who am I? What am I doing here? What's it all about? And I think that pretty much sums it up. You know, who am I? Why am I here? Why do I think this way? Why do I act this way? Ah, crap, is the sun coming up? Ah, geez, the sun's coming up. So yeah, this channel is really important in that, but it's also shown me that God, I could do this even without the channel. I could still continue this log, right? This journal. I could still continue my creating videos and just cataloging them, right, for future use. Me, someone else, future generations, whatever. But this has been, you know, we're going on. Oh yeah, it's over 8 months. I started in December of 2023 doing this morning show, and this is what, episode 67, 66. This is episode 66 of season 3 of the morning show. So this is a lot of morning shows. A lot. I'm running out of hard drive because of all of the videos that I'm creating. I'm actually going to have to get a bigger hard drive than I've ever gotten before, and then use it to clean up both these computers. Right? And mainly I need to pull all of my YouTube related stuff and other content that raw content that I've recorded. All the video stuff, I need to put it all onto one giant hard drive because it is a lot of data. It is huge amounts. You know, thankfully I learned how to use the cloud so that I don't have to keep plugging and unplugging stuff around. I just constantly make sure that my computers are uploading the stuff to the cloud so that from computer to computer I can pull stuff down and use it. And basically, if I create stuff on my live computer and I cloud it, then I can pull it down onto this computer, and I know it's not a cloud, but I like the expression. So I can pull it down onto this one here and save it here and then move it to my external hard drive, which then deletes it from the cloud and then deletes it from this computer as well. So I instantly free up hard drive by just pulling stuff off of the cloud and then moving it down onto the external hard drive and off of the computers that's into a place that's unrecognized by the cloud. And then it just, so over here I had like a couple of megabytes or kilobytes left memory. It was like, it ain't doing anything anymore. And so I just started pulling stuff off the cloud over here and moving it onto the external hard drive, and all of a sudden, boom, I got a shitload of memory over here again, just like that. I would not have known how to do that 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I'd have been here scratching my ass going,
what am I going to do? There's not enough memory. I need another hard drive, period.
So, yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I guess that's what keeps me going when I'm just completely wiped out and exhausted, is the fact that I enjoy fiddling about with all of this shit. I enjoy sitting here, getting hopped up on coffee and weed, and just going no, right? Because this is what I used to love about being young in Elsinore, right? Flat out was you know, sitting around in the morning before school or before work or just whenever, and just sitting around early in the morning watching the sun come up, loving the fog. I miss fog. And getting loaded, drinking coffee, and just digging on the conversation, you know. My favorite time of the day. And it's still my favorite time of the day, but I got no one to talk to. So I found that if I'm here, I can live that again. I can relive that whole getting up in the morning, hanging out, you know, getting pumped up on coffee and getting mellowed out on weed, and just yeah, it's fucking awesome. My ring just will not stay on anymore. I almost lost it washing my hands last night. My knuckle is really fat and bulbous from punching walls when I was young. And it kept me from freaking out on people. Because honestly, I did not want to wind up in jail. You know, honestly, I thought that when I was really young, and after having seen a lot of mental health, not institutions, but documentaries and TV shows and you know, a lot of media about institutions, movies and whatnot, I decided that, holy hell, if I act out too crazy, and get too weird and violent, I'm going to wind up in jail. I'm going to wind up in the booby hatch. I'm going to wind up getting shock therapy or whatever I saw in the movies, right? So that was probably the one thing, and still does keep me from freaking the fuck out, you know, is not wanting to get sent to the booby hatch. Yeah. But look at that. Just don't want to stay on. Yeah, so I used to punch walls and make my knuckles real fat and bulbous and swollen and scarred and painful. Yeah. But now I'm getting old and geezer-like, and I'm just thinning out. And even with that bulbous knuckle that used to stop this ring no matter what, I had to just yank on it to get it off. It just slips right off. I mean, I have to take it off too, but if I shook my hand like that down, that thing would be gone, be bouncing all over the place. So I can't. Yeah, I mean, it almost came off there, just a little bit. So I'm either going to have to get it resized, or wear it on a chain. Right. I prefer to get it resized. I don't think that I mean, it is gold and silver, but I don't think it's an expensive ring. I don't remember. I probably paid a few $100s for it. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Does it matter? Alright, I'm going to really heat this up real hot this time, so that I can really enjoy it. All right, well, looks like one good thing about having moved the camera for the lava lamp is when I walk past it and then under it, you don't see the top of my head. It used to be only my short wife could walk under it and not be seen by it, but now it's up out of the way. I put it up over my head, aimed kind of behind me over to the lava lamp in the corner. So I better check my comments. I haven't been checking my comments. Nobody there. Hi, nobody. And if you're there, hi, somebody. Yeah. Totally. Monkey. Monkey. Hello, little monkey. Are you a cheeky monkey? Okay, it's really hot now. Oh, yeah. Try not to clang it, but it squeaks. Alright, yeah. That's it. I am wiped out. My stomach hates me at this point. If there's one part of my body that I punish, it's my stomach. It punishes me first, though. I mean, it started this, you know. And then because of my, sinus infection years ago, and my taste and sense of smell and everything changing, I've really been punishing my stomach because I can only eat a select kind of foods that actually taste palatable, right? And that kind of sucks. And I'm running out of stuff that I remember still tasting the same. And I have to start looking for more and more new foods. And I'm not really into new. I mean, I'm a creature of habit, you know. I'm not into change, you know. I'm a middle-aged white guy, right? We don't do change.
What did he say? Leave him alone, Harry. He didn't mean you. Although you could use a little change. Shut up.
All right. I'm going to do another bong hit here, and then... Oh, look, it's been an hour and a half already? Get out of here. Wow, I must be sleepy because it only feels like I've been here about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Hour and a half, huh? Wow, that's pretty cool. So, Friday night was episode 50. 50, of the nighttime show, and it was cool. It was fun. I didn't get anybody requesting for me to do it for 2 hours. I was going to do an extra hour. I was ready, set up to do an extra hour. Had an extra hour's worth of stuff picked out, and it was like, all right, look, I got stuff to do, but here's the deal. If you guys want me to stay for another hour and play more music, I'll do that. And then as soon as I said that, the three people, or three of the population of three that I had, all of a sudden went away. Whoosh, gone. It's like, oh, okay. Bad idea. But it was like, it was my wife said, well, you know, we gotta do this and that and this and that. I was like, all right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If somebody's watching and they say, hey, yeah, do another hour, I'm really into this music, then I'll do it, and we'll just continue with our stuff later. Thankfully, nobody requested that I play an extra hour, so we were able to get things put back together that night, so that Saturday morning things were looking better. But yeah, the shower's working great now. The whole bathroom needs to be replaced. The whole kitchen needs to be replaced. But everything works again. Everything's functioning. It ain't the best. It ain't even close to the best. It ain't even close to good. But it's functionable. Remember, you big giant lottery winners out there, it won't take much to make me happy. You know, a slightly better piece of crap to live in. I ain't greedy. I don't need much. Donate it to Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy that needs another home. I'm just kidding. This is humor, alright? It's just me talking shit. Oh man, do I have dogs? Let me check to see if I got dogs. I'll be right back. Oh yeah, straighten up my chinos there. My what do they call them? What do they used to call them? Choninos. So, underwear choninos. Right, Charlie. tus choninos cochinos. My limited Espanol. I guess that's what makes me so funny, right?
What a goofball. He don't know what he's talking about. Leave him alone, Harry. He's funny. Yeah, maybe to you. He ain't no Cantinflas.
Yeah, I need some really good rest and a lot of soup. I see a lot of soups and grilled cheeses in my diet. A lot of soups. Soup and biscuits, soup and crackers, soup and a sandwich, soupy sales. Oh, yeah. Super duper, Superman. Yep. What are you gonna do, man? I don't know. Nothing. Yeah. I'm pretty wiped out. I tried to get a lot of rest over the weekend. I really did. I didn't get a whole lot of nap time in. I thought I was going to nap last night at the show, but all I managed was laying down the whole time they were in the show, and closing my eyes for about 30 or 40 minutes. But I didn't get any sleep. My wife threw a big mattress pad cover thingy, real big, like pillow top for a mattress. So she threw that in the car in lieu of an air mattress. And so I just unfolded it and laid it in there and threw down some blankets, folded up for extra padding, and jammed my pillows into the back with me, and just laid down, and it was very comfortable. Thank you to my beautiful esposa for that. It made that period of time, 5 hours sitting there, it made it very, very cool, and it went by really, really quick. It was awesome. And so I enjoyed it. I sat and I watched some Cobra Kai and put Shrek on and laid down and closed my eyes for a while. It's a hybrid, my wife's car, thank you again. So it just, you leave it running with the air conditioner on, and the engine comes on once in a while to charge the batteries, and that's it. And then it goes back off, and it comes back on. If you don't have the air on, then it doesn't need to run as often or as much. So as soon as the sun started to creep down, I just rolled down the windows and turned the air off. And then all of a sudden it got too cool, and I had to put the windows back up. But I let it run so that I could keep my phone charged. I was going to go to sleep and had my alarm set to wake me up at 10, and it's like, oh man, sounds like they're going to be done. They started way early. Sounds like they might be done earlier than... And they did. She thought they were going to go till after 11, and it was it was not even 10:30 when they ended. So we got out of there pretty early, which was really cool. Yeah, it was totally cool, dude, totally cool. Oh, coffee, look. Yeah, this coffee's not waking me up. Not at all. It's keeping me functioning. That's it. I don't know that I'm going to manage any heavy food before I lay down. I don't really want a bagel. I don't want anything sweet. I really don't. I don't want anything like that. I want something, a little bit nourishing. I don't want an egg. Ugh. Eggs just, they just give me gas. They just bloat me. No, I don't want to eat no baby chickens. Those are one of the things that totally screwed up my taste of egg. I cannot stand a fried egg anymore. I've been trying for the last couple of years to continue to eat eggs, and I just gave up. It was like, you know what, it don't taste the same anymore. I keep trying. I have it different ways, every single way to have an egg for breakfast. I've done it and I'm done, Just over it.
Can't do it anymore. It's just not me. I just can't do it, I just can't. Look at him. He's crying. Leave him alone, Harry. He's expressing emotion. Weren't you listening?
No, really, man. Like, for sure. Okay, totally. At some point, I'm just going to stop uploading videos on my channel, except for a few radio shows every day. Because everybody just loves radio shows, right? But at some point, I'm going to stop uploading massive amounts of stuff and just sit back and enjoy it, right? Because I haven't had time to sit and watch a lot of the stuff that I've been creating and put on there, onto the channel. It's just, I get it. I turn it into a manageable video, process it, and go over here, and while it's saving, I'm working on another one, and I don't really get to, I'll watch snippets of it to see if, yes, in fact, it is something that I either remember from my childhood or something that represents a part of me, right? So I'll okay, yes, this in fact, and then while it's saving, I can watch it kind of play out in real time, either slow or fast, but I'll watch it happening, and on occasion I will be watching and go, what the hell? No, we ain't gonna, and I'll save it out and put it in the unusable file. And I've got a few movies over in the unusable file that are never gonna see YouTube. And it's just because they contain some content that's either too graphic or too violent or too perverse or just too fucked up, It's like, we don't need to see that side of humanity, I see that just going to Walmart. I don't need to see that shit. I ain't having it on my channel. If it's something that needs to be, seen, like there is, like some of this mental health stuff. This stuff really hits home with me, because of my own mental shortcomings. But I've known people with mental health issues, and so it's important for me to, if I'm going to show that side of me, then you have to see it from my point of view, from movies and things made from back in my day, so that you understand how I learned and why I think this way about this. Well, that's because back then that's the way we thought about these things. And so it may have changed over the years, but I haven't, right? I'm still that same guy. I have evolved and I see things differently, but that's still a part of me, the way that I saw things back then. So as often as possible, I try to bring to my channel things that help define me as who I am now, but also especially why I became who I am now by means of showing you things that created me, that made me who I am back then, as well as now, as well as, what the hell is he talking about? He's just going in circles. I can't drink the coffee quick enough. It cools down too fast. Right now I'm working on suspense radio shows. I've got 6, 7 here that have audio files, so I can see by the little red dots on the page here next to the file names. I can see little red dots that signify that yes, I have indeed checked to make sure that I have those audio files. And then I'll take the information from the audio file and I'll create a graphic title and a date, whatever, for each corresponding audio file. And then I'll put them in a graphics file. And I'll do that with all of my stuff for the month. And then I'll come back and then I'll create videos for all of those audio files using graphics and programming. And then that's how I bring you these old-time radio shows. But my favorite part is just cataloging them and making the videos and, you know, searching all of this stuff out. And then listening to some of these things and going, oh my gosh, I totally remember this one. It's easy to do with X-1 because I've heard every one of them a million times. But some of these other ones, you know, it's like, oh, I haven't heard that since I was a kid. Wow. I think it's the sound of the coffee machine as the pot heats and cools and stuff. Little clicks. Sounds similar to the dog's toenails clicking on the hardwood, right? The purgo. Did he say purgo? Yeah. Well, how much do they charge per go? Or do you have to stop each? To shut up. That's not what he means. Jeez. I know, but I'm starting to get loopy. What-a-lee, loopy. What-a-lee, loop-de-loo, loop-de-lie. Yeah, getting goofy. That's pretty much what happens when I get tired. I get really goofy. Now, I've been so tired before that I have been in kind of a waking sleep state kind of thing, where dream and reality kind of blur together, so you're not quite sure kind of what's real and what isn't, right? And so, like, I've had that happen to me on a number of occasions. More than likely, most of the time, it was because of sleep deprivation, right? Not because I was on a lot of whacked out stuff, but because I was sleep deprived, you know. And quite often, later in life, it was from playing video games, either on the computer or on a console. Yes, I'm guilty of playing video games until I pass out or have to run to the bathroom, you know. I get that into it. Some people are like that with gambling or sports or Jesus or whatever, you know. People just get into something and they're all in, you know. And that's kind of one of the human traits, you know, is obsession. So when I start playing a video game that I really, really like, I will just non-stop it, you know. I will just keep fucking going. Because why not, right? If I can jump into a Minecraft game, or, you know, 1990s Faxanadu, you know, Donkey Kong, then, and just completely be there and not here, I'll do that anytime, you know, because it is just so escapist. I don't know. It's just to go someplace so freaking far away, but never leave your chair, you know, and just be able to just whoosh, go anywhere and everywhere. So I love those games, like the one my daughter plays with the what was that, Zelda? So the Zelda game where you get that whole world to immerse yourself in. So I really dig those too. Whether it's, you know, like Cabela, big game, where you get that giant map that you can roam around, or a first-person shooter, military game, or, you know, like Sniper Elite. You know, or any of those games where I can just get freaking junked out, you know. I just lose myself in it, and lose myself in that big, giant 3D world where there's just endless possibilities. And that's the thing I love the most about Minecraft, is that you just keep going and going and going and going, and it never ends. You don't get to an end of a story. Well, you can. You could say, yeah, I'm done. I beat this dragon or whatever, and I'm ready to quit. But you don't have to. You can continue on and on and on and kick, you know, the ass of 12 dragons, you know, if you want. You can continue on and go to these other different worlds and kick ass in those worlds, you know. It just, yeah. And you don't even have to follow the game. You can just create a world and then just live there peacefully, right? Which I really, really love. I love just opening up Minecraft, creating a world, setting up shop, and then naturally, by way of gathering, hunting and gathering, and crafting, and that's it. Create entire villages. I mean, not go to a village and take it over, but go to a place that is just an empty plain, a prairie, a hilltop somewhere, and create an entire super mega city out of scratch, completely out of scratch, and not in like the super build mode, but in survival mode, where you have to mine every stone that you turn into bricks to create a building, right? You have to mine every single ore, piece of gold, piece of silver, whatever. You got to mine it all. You got to do all of this work. So you spend countless hours just gathering, hunting, scraping, mining, crafting, doing all of these things, you know. I have created so many worlds in Minecraft, in one file, in one actual. You go into a world and it's like, okay, well, that's cool. Look at this village and this, and then it's like, well, where's this road go? And you follow a road that goes over map, over map, over map, over map, and you know, 3-4 maps over, there's a whole other place that I built, you know, and then you finally uncover the whole map of this one game file to realize that I've covered the entire, you know, 12 map, 18, 20 map grid in roads, highways, buildings, houses, ranches, farms, mines, the works, everything, you know. I love to take, and I would love to take more people to my little Minecraft worlds where I have just created so much to do. You know, you literally, you get in there, and as soon as you spawn, you like, there's a house, and you go over there, and you just totally suit up with armor right there, right? You totally grab everything that you need, and now you're fully stocked, and you grab yourself a horse and a saddle, and you're out exploring. Boom, 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 boom. You know, and every place that you go along the road and the paths and the trails that are created, you find yourself on a new adventure. There are some maps that I have created that are game-like in themselves, and you can literally follow it around and write your own story, you know, write your own adventure. And that's what I like to do, is I could just open up one of my maps, like YouTube, open it up and just start playing stuff. I can open up a Minecraft game that I've created and just start adventuring and not even have to follow the game. Just start, all right, well now check this out. That's right, I was over in this village and I was doing that. Well, I don't want to do that. I think I want to go over here and I want to dig down into here and find something to fuck with, you know, or I want to jump through this portal and beat the shit out of somebody, you know. And it's just, that's probably, you know, one of my most favorite thing to do is just sit around in Minecraft. And I used to do that before with other games that you had to follow a plan, but it was kind of a 3D open-ended thing. So I would do Minecrafting and these other things where I would just go out and I'd mine, like in Dune or Command and Conquer. I would just go out and build and build and build and build and build and build and build, and then I would just go out and attack, you know, and conquer, and then just build and build, and, you know, and rather than follow the game where, okay, time's coming and you got to go fight, I would just do the open-ended shit, the, you know, the big world map, you know. And back then they were so tiny, you know, and now you step into these worlds like Far Cry, and you just go and go and go, and you feel like you're in this real fantasy adventure, you know. And I dig that. I don't know that I could ever get into the whole goggle thing, right? I'm sure they have it set up so that it's totally usable and adjusts to different people's eyes and whatnot. But I don't know. Maybe I should try it someday, you know, and get into the whole eye candy thing. I don't know. Look, it's almost 7 o'clock. I can't believe that I've had like an hour rest. I wouldn't even call it a nap, right? I mean, literally 45 minutes of me trying to go to sleep, and then right at the end being successful for a few seconds, you know, a few minutes. Wow. So I'm going to have to put the world on hold and lay the fuck down. What the hell am I going to eat? I guess I could just eat some cereal if there's any milk. There's probably not. The other day I wanted a bagel and there was no cream cheese. And then there was no bagels anyway. So, oh, and then I went in one day and there was no cream cheese, and then I went the other day and there's no bagels. It's cream cheese with no bagels. It's like, jeez. Who's doing the oh, that's right, I'm doing the shopping. And you know, I always wind up going to the store and getting all of the staples that everybody else likes, and then I wind up not getting anything for me because I can never figure out what I like because I don't know what shit tastes like anymore. Oh, fucking frustrating. Fucking darn it. Freaking A, man. Yeah, man. Art, electronic stuff, you know. It was a good one from 1965, just a little 20, 30-minute film about, I don't know, I'm going to have to watch it in earnest to find out, but it had Michael Young, really young Michael Sarrazin, and he was a bad guy. The movie's called You're No Good from 1965, and it's an educational film from Canada, and it's basically he's a bad guy because he chooses to be bad. He could be good, but instead he does the bad stuff. That's what I got from it. Yeah, but that was, I'm going to have to really sit down and just watch these one after one, because now I've got countless hours of these freaking videos, these educational films. And they're just a lot of fun, and not only are they educational, but they're really part of my history, because when I went to school in the 70s and 80s, we were watching educational films from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right? Because some stuff that was really old, they would stay, the school board would say, yeah, it's still usable. It still has good quality education in there somewhere. So we got to watch a lot of weird old stuff. So yeah, while I haven't been able to find exactly everything from my past, educational film-wise, the stuff I have found really, is important, has something to say. I'm starting to ramble now. I think you should go to sleep. Yeah, you're probably right. Any votes that I should stay here any longer and hang out, or should I just go to sleep? My coffee's just about done. That's a good sign. My stomach hurts. So that's a good sign. That means that I'm actually probably want to eat something. If my stomach is the other feeling, then I don't want to eat nothing. The other kind of pain. It hurts one way, I want to eat. It hurts the other way, I don't want to eat. And I think I want to eat. I don't know what the hell I'm going to eat. That's probably going to take some fucking hardcore figuring. Because while I go to the store a lot, I never really plan for breakfast. Sometimes I do, plan a good breakfast sandwich, pick up some ham and some good cheese and some big croissants or a good kind of bun or something, and make some breakfast sandwiches. Or mix up a big pot of hash, a real big can of roast beef or corned beef, and or use some beef that we've cooked and potatoes and create a really good hash. I can eat the hash out of a can, the corned beef or roast beef hash out of a can. I prefer to make it. If I'm going to use corned beef, then either homemade corned beef or the little can of corned beef, but then make my own potatoes, so that I can add a lot of potatoes to that corned beef or roast beef. And then that tastes better than the canned stuff. The can, I grew up eating that canned corned beef and hash for breakfast camping. Yeah, it was a perfect, dump a can into the skillet, fry it up good, chuck in a couple of eggs and put a lid on it, let them go sunny side up, and start shoveling that stuff out onto plates. But now I prefer to try to make it from scratch, pretty much with everything. But, you get into those ruts where you're just eating so much processed food, Geez, we had, this fast food 3 times last week. God, Can we get away from this? We're just too busy, you know, and it's now we're really slow work-wise, and we're eating a lot of meals from scratch, right? My wife is just like in the kitchen every day. I'm constantly behind her going, all right, I'll chop this, you do that. All right, what do you need me to do? You need me to make the meat, and you'll do the... So I'm always trying to help. I don't always succeed. Get out of here, help us, don't help us. So, I try. She's a miracle worker. And my daughter's really helpful. Can you help your mom? Yeah. She just goes in there and starts chopping, starts doing this or that. So she's really coming into her adulthood. I was able to tell her last night how proud I am of her taking on a lot of adult responsibilities. Because of the whole, stay at home during a year and a half of her high school experience, and then being in college and worrying so much about her studies that she doesn't get to do a whole lot of adult stuff, right? Cooking, laundry, dishes, that we just go to your room, do your work, and we really spoil her as far as taking care of her, as long as we know that she's working on school stuff. Yeah, go to it. You need something to eat? All right, you get the stuff out and get half of it going, and I'm gonna, make this for you, do this and this, and you plate together, make your bun, whatever I gotta do to make it quicker for her, or just do it completely. Yeah, I'll get it together. Go ahead, go back to work, because that's what she needs me for. She's got plenty of time to go out there and do all of these things and experience all of these things, but as much time as she can devote to higher education, higher learning, getting those degrees, whether you think they mean anything or not, society believes in them, and if that's what it is required of you to up yourself in society's eyes, then yes, do that. I was never one for that. I fuck society and all that shit. So it's really shows strength of character in her that she's able to see her mother's views and her father's views and create her own views, right? Yeah. And not being able to adult as much as I did, or anybody else I knew at her age growing up. When we were young, when I was her age, I had already been through stuff that a lot of people never go through in their life. A lot of people, it takes another 10 years of growing before they're going to go through those things. And I was going through weird shit from an early age, a little kid, I was going through some weird shit, horrendous shit, mental shit, physical shit, all kinds of, social and familial shit. It was just all crazy. So, she hasn't had to go through nearly as much as a lot of people her age. So I'm really thankful that she's able to do more and more and more and juggle her school and her social life more, so that she can get used to, all right, now let's turn school into a job and see, how you handle that. I think she's going to be phenomenal because I think that work is going to, after so many years, almost 2 decades of schooling, right, by the time she graduates, which could be another 2 years, or it could be another 6 to 8 years, right? By the time she gets through with all of that, work is going to be so easy up here because she's not going to have to do all of that stuff from school anymore. It's going to be a break from school to go out and work and actually do the things that she's only learned about doing, right? Or just to go out and do and not have to do it the school way, like a student. A lot of reading and studying and tests and notes and all of that shit, and there may be some aspects of that type of stuff in whatever job that she eventually decides on. It'll be night and day compared to going to school for that many years, right? Maybe she'll be an astronaut. She's like, hell no, an astronaut. What do I want to be in space for? There you go. Yeah, I got you, Dad. You're space enough. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. Loud. So this concert here, this is the first show that I saw with my daughter at the Forum. This was Love on Tour with Harry Styles in 2022, November 15th, at the Forum. And then it's got the Los Angeles date on here. Did I get this shirt there? I don't recall. I know that we saw him a couple of months later on his birthday in 2023. And I got shirts there. And I believe this one I got there, but it didn't have the Palm Springs. It should have said Palm Springs or Indio or something on it at the Acrisure Arena. And I was wrong. Of course, my daughter's correct. The complex there at the Forum is the Forum and the YouTube Theater and SoFi Stadium and the new Intuit Arena. So there's that. So I was misinformed by my own brain, right? So I wore this back to the Forum and my Harry Styles hat. Harry is my friend from Harry's house. Cool. You know what? I dig me some Harry Styles. That dude's he's a weird guy. He's a weird guy, and I'm a weird guy. I like weird. He's my kind of weird. I wonder what his next move is. Probably some more movie stuff. He's probably doing a lot of acting right now. Either training or, what do they call that? Drama school, acting school. He could be doing some of that right now. Or he could just be fucking chilling out. I mean, that tour, the Love on Tour, God, it lasted for how many years? 2 years? Over 2 years? The first one that she went to was in 2021. And then we went back again 2023 the next year, and then we saw him in 2023, and after that he finished off the rest of the tour in the United States, and then went and finished off the rest of the tour of the world, right? The world tour. And chewed up a lot more of 2023, I think, into the spring. So That was a long-ass tour. 2 albums. Sheesh. That's fucking awesome. So I would think that he's going to be off for a while. I mean, he was like, what, sick 2 or 3 times on that tour? And did 2 albums and a couple of movies. I mean, that guy was busy as fuck. I'd sleep for a year. This is how I feel now. But man. So yeah, I wonder what he's got going on next. You know, has he decided that he wants to find a girl and settle down, find someone and settle down? Has he ever thought about kids? He'd probably be a great dad. You know, he's a weird guy. He'd probably be really cool. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Shoot me a message, Harry Styles. Right? Right. I should, I wonder if I can get captioning on my live stuff. What the hell was that? That was some kind of click. I don't know what it was. I'm going to turn off the mic in case it was a raccoon or something going to jump out at me. Be right back. I don't know, I'm going to have to say that noise was probably my mobile home settling some more. It's been here in this park since the 1960s, I think, when it was purchased new and brought out here. This park has been here forever. So, I don't know. Pretty fucking old and beat up. I need to get some supports underneath it so that it's safe enough to have guys come out and re-level it, you know. So I really can't do anything until then. You know, I'm thinking on taking out one of those metal tier things, you know, and then digging down and plopping in a cardboard cylinder, concrete support cylinder, standing some rebar in there wired together, filling that fucker full of concrete right underneath where the supports are, and then just do that down the line, you know, up where it's only about this far, you know, down to the ground. I'm not really worried too much, but out where it's, you know, up. And, you know, the higher it gets on this hill that we're on, I'll make the cylinders increasing in diameter so that they can support rather than tip over. Bury it deep enough, you know, the taller, the wider it is, the skinnier it is, I guess, the deeper it would go. The wider wouldn't necessarily matter too much because it'd just be a big chunk of concrete. That's a lot of concrete. And probably just pour in bags of powder stuff and then just add the water, you know, and then just let it go, because the cardboard's going to stay there anyway, as long as it, you know, becomes solid enough What the hell? And it'll probably be throw in a couple of bags and fill it with water, and throw in a couple of bags, fill it with water, and then just let it kind of harden as we're moving up. And do that, because like I said, it's going to stay inside the cardboard cylinders. As long as I can get to the top and put in some studs so that I can drop down a piece of wood on top of it so that there's a stable platform to wedge that thing level, right? Do it all down the center, you know, in about 4 spots, ever increasing diameter, and then do it on the sides. And on the sides I may just do it because we have a block wall around one side. What I might do is just inside that little block wall that's kind of short, increase that block wall in some areas underneath the support, pull out a support, increase the block wall underneath where that was, and stack it up, fill it with concrete, and rebar it together, right? So it's just kind of a part of the wall. That would probably work. If I can do that all the way around it and underneath it, down the middle, I think I could probably get guys over here to stabilize this thing and level it. But that's some work, you know. Once again, I'm stuck with all these, you know, these things to do and nobody to do it with. No body, no physical abilities. I'm just burned out. My body is no good anymore. I try, but it's just nothing there. Nothing. I'm hearing verses. I'm hearing them verses outside, them voices. Them verses in my head. People. What is it? Well, it's Monday morning, which means there's people out there getting ready to go to work. 7:19. 7:19. I was always out of the house at 5:30, or on the job by the time the sun was coming up out here. I would get up super early, get out of the house, get over to the job site while it was still dark, get my shit set up as the sun was just creeping up, and right as that sun was coming up, I'd start working, whatever I was doing, digging holes or, you know, putting in an air conditioner or building a shed, whatever I was doing. I was trying to get as much done before late morning, because by late morning you're just dying, right? And you really can't come back to anything until late evening, because it doesn't get dark until 9, which means it doesn't start cooling off until 6 or 7. You know. Yep. But normally I used to start work about 6 or 7 because I wanted to get done by 1 or 2 in the afternoon. By 3 I wanted to be on to something else. And during the summer, if you can start real early and get your 8 hours in, you can get 2 8-hour days in there. Yeah, back when I had the physical ability to do shit, I used to be able to do a lot of shit. Now I can't do shit, so I don't do shit. This is what I do. Oh, the shirt's starting to fade. I got so many shirts now that I don't have to wear shirts as much, you know. I can go weeks without wearing the same shirt twice. I mean, weeks and weeks and weeks. At this point, if I'm wearing one shirt a day, I can go months without wearing the same shirt twice if I keep track in my head. Sometimes I just keep pulling shirts out of the laundry pile. You know, a clean shirt, give me that shirt. and it never makes it back into the mix, so where I can decide, ooh, I haven't worn that one in a while. Yeah, shirts. I like collections of stuff. I'm an OCD collector of things, you know. The little containers I get my pot in, I can't throw them away. They get bagged up and put into a little bag and then stuffed in a shelf or a closet somewhere. And I get these little, and I need to, you know, be like my wife and not be a hoarder. You know, she goes to the neighbor's house and pulls bottles and bottles and bottles of stuff, empty bottles, empty cups, empty, you know, plastic microwavable dishes. I mean, he just stacks stuff up, you know, and I totally get it, you know. But she'll go over there and just say, you don't need this, come on, let's get rid of this. And she helps him unhoard his house. And he just had a full crew come over there for like thousands of dollars and yank everything out of there. And it was bad. And so now it's better. But I totally get that whole mentality of just keeping things and keeping things and keeping things. I've got tons of crap around here, bags of screws, you know, next to another bag of nuts and bolts. And it's like, I don't need this shit, but what if I do? But what if, you know, and it's like, oh, I need to get away from that. Totally, I've got a trailer full of stuff, a shed full of stuff, a yard full of stuff, a house full of stuff. And so much of it can just be let go of. And I can't, you know, I'm right on the verge of hardcore hoarding. If I didn't have my wife to look after me, I would be up to here in crap everywhere. Just stuff, piles and piles and piles of stuff. Well, that's a project that I'm working on. Well, that's something that I got going. You know, and this is, I'm saving that for, and when I get enough of these, and it's like, I need to get away from it. Because I'm so close. And, you know, and I'm taking it easy on myself, but really I'm hoarding way too much stuff. I got thousands and thousands and thousands of records and tapes and DVDs and cassettes, and it's just, why? Because I enjoy having them around. As much as I enjoy listening to them, yes, as a matter of fact, as much as. More than, maybe I enjoy having them more than I enjoy utilizing them. I don't know. But I don't want to give up records. You know, I had a lot of records, my family had a lot of records growing up. And then all of a sudden I went decades without having any music in my life. And now all of a sudden I've got records again and music's back in my life. Would I give my records up? Oh, hell no. No. Any of my media? Probably not. Books, records, tapes, videos, film, whatever. I'd probably have to keep all of that. Other crap. Stereos, cameras, video machines, old tech, projectors. I would have to keep all of that stuff because that goes with all of the media, right? That I have. I could put together one stereo, right, with a turntable, a cassette, AM/FM stereo, an 8-track, right, something that plays just about everything back then. And then I could take that and make it work, make it function with the right speakers and a good needle and heads and everything are clean, and make it function, and then I could actually add to that an entire selection of, well, here's 24 records, here's 24 8-tracks, right, here's 24 cassettes, and while we're at it, here's a VCR and 24 videotapes, right? I could set something like that up easy. There'd be a slight learning curve with some of the tech stuff, how to fix things, but I buy things in multiple, right? So hopefully I'll have something that's the same or similar, and I can open one thing up and look at it while I'm taking this apart and cataloging how it goes back together by watching it on this one here. Okay, this one goes off. Where did this one go? This one goes here. And I'll take stuff off and I'll put it back on. And then I'll take stuff off and then take off a little more and then put it back on. And then take off a little bit more and then fix what has to be done. And then I can put it all back together easily because I'm actually watching what's going on over here, you know. And I had to do that because of mental issues, brain injury. So, bada bing. Easy way to deal with dyslexia too. Bada bing. Have your model here and work on it here. And for me, it's better than an actual schematic or drawing because it's an actual physical representation of what the fuck you're doing. You know, oh yeah, that goes in here, damn it, I forgot to I better take this off and put that back on. Sometimes I'll write down how to, you know. So yeah, that, you know, that's something I really want to do, is just sit down and create packages of stuff, curate little, see, here's a box that has tapes, records, 45, 78s, you know, cartridges, the works. And it goes with this stereo because it's all set up. This is set up for easy listening. You know, this one's set up for rock and roll, got the better speakers, the better this and that, kind of equalizer. This one's for classical. It's got the headphones, you know, and here's all of the stuff that goes with it, you know. Museum type stuff, you know, where in your house you want to be able to walk over to something and go, oh, here's my 1970s stereo and accoutrement. Here's all the stuff that goes with it, you know, of the era, of the period. And it all functions. So I've got a bunch of that kind of stuff in my house that functions already that I've repaired. But there's also a lot of stuff that I haven't repaired yet. And I really want to get into that. Get into, all right, this is the machine I want to work on. And what do I need for it? Search out all the parts that I'm probably going to need. Order stuff up. Try to find a mate. Something that's very similar, if not the same model. And try to get a hold of that. Really cheap. Doesn't work, that's fine, as long as it's all together. Nobody's pulled anything off of it, I want it. And then I can set them together and go, okay, I can't find this part, but I've got this other one here. So if this one's still good, then I'll just swap it out, you know, in the mix. Right? That's how I do that. Yeah. There's more coffee, but I can't do anymore. I can't do that to my body. I no longer require coffee. I just did it this morning to stay up and do this, but it didn't really do much to me other than keep me awake right now. I think it's going to be pretty easy to shag it on out of here and hit the bed. Yeah. Because, you know, I need my beauty sleep. Let's see. Any comments here? Am I just pumping the bunk here? Okay, I didn't miss any comments, which is cool. Nobody needs to be here to see this. I know there's probably somebody there, but they don't want to say hi. So, which is, you know, the whole purpose of me being here every morning is to meet people and converse with people and make new friends. I've made a lot of new friends on this, more than I thought I would. Out of the 165 subscribers, I've actually made a half a dozen friends, one of which who actually arrived at my house while on vacation and we hung out, right? So that's pretty cool. But, you know, even people that I know or am acquainted with, this is a good time to get to know each other better. You know, people who think they know me can find out otherwise and actually invest time in getting to know me, and I can get to know them. It's a reciprocal thing, vice versa. You know, so that being said, I hope people who stop by on occasion or hang out for the entire show will feel more comfortable, you know, to say hello and make some kind of connection, you know, because that's why I'm here. That's one of the reasons why I am here every morning, is to make new friends or make friends out of old friends, you know, because you got limited time, and I've been quiet long enough. I really have. I've never talked so much in my life like I've talked on this morning's show. You know, they say that men don't speak a lot, and that saying is correct. It is true. Men have a limited vocabulary. They don't talk a lot. They're not into communication. Men will sit around and grunt and scratch, and that's a conversation, right? And then, for the most part, that's true with most men, you know. And I don't consider myself to be most men, because I'm not the guy that sits around and talks crotch talk around the water cooler, you know, how many broads I shagged and all that kind of stuff. I've never been into, always made me uncomfortable, right? So, you know, never been that kind of guy. But, yeah. Man. There I go again, off into my own little distant world. Man, I am just wiped out. Just fucking wiped out. So many miles, so many heartbeats, so many scars on the heart, right? I mean, I can just remember an emotion, and it like hurts, like inside, like right in your middle, like right in your heart, right? Because when I have a deep emotion, I mean, it is literally heartache. It is literally pain in the heart, heartfelt. You know, that's no lie. It's not just Hallmark. That's true shit there. So I try to avoid that kind of deep feeling. Which, again, is why I express emotion when I have emotion. You know, I get a little sad, I'm going to express a little bit of sadness, so that it doesn't build up to a lot of sadness, and then I don't have that deep heartache with, you know, that comes with remembering stuff. You don't really want to remember the pain of it, but all of a sudden you're smacked with a remembrance of something. And then all of a sudden you're just in misery. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna eat? Fucking donut, a Twinkie, what? Piece of toast. I don't think there's any milk. I'm not a milk drinker. The only time I'm a milk drinker is when the milk comes home and it's open and it smells fresh. After about 3 days of the milk being opened, to me, I can't smell it anymore. I mean, I could smell it, which is the issue. I cannot stand to smell it any longer. After it gets to like 3 days old, after it's been opened, sometimes less, sometimes a little longer, depending on the age of the milk itself. But that's a problem, because we can only get small amounts of milk. We can only get like a half gallon at a time. Any more than that will just sit in the fridge. We're not big milk drinkers. We're just not. We'll use milk to cook with and for different dishes and stuff. For cereal on occasion. I love to have cereal, milk and cereal, or milk and cookies, right? But I can only have it if the milk is fresh. If it ain't fresh, I can tell that it's fresh because there's only, a little bit missing from it. Once it gets down to a certain amount, I can't even get near it because I know if I pop the top and smell it, it's going to gross me out. Right? And most of the time, I've figured out that it's not the milk itself that smells bad. It's the outer edge of the container lid, right? The top, the outer edge of the top, where the milk collects and dries. And that's what smells. But even then I can't. Nope. Nope. I'm going to think about buying milk that's in a glass jar and see where that gets me. It's in a glass jar, pour it out, wipe the glass jar. Maybe I should wipe the lid off of the milk, but I can't even. It's like I open that milk, smell it. If it's fresh and I smell it and it still smells fresh, I'll use it for a day or two. But man, anybody else have issues with milk? Milk on Monday milk. Monday milk memories. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm going to have to eat a little bit of something before I lay back down, which is probably going to lead into my wife waking up, which will lead to me staying awake a little longer or the rest of the day. And I can't do that. I don't want to, looking at myself on the screen here, oh yeah. But I don't want to miss the nighttime show. I have so much fun doing the night stuff. And I'm a creature of habit, and I get into doing stuff, and I have to continue to do it, Like I did 50 nighttime shows. Do I want to stop? No, I think I want to go to 100 and then stop. Or 90 or something, whatever summer is. Do the summer amount, 3 months, right? And then revamp it and come back. I'm going to probably at some point let this channel stand and start doing a different channel, a monetized channel with original content, and I will copy most of my original content over to the new channel and add more to it, and keep this channel, a sister network, basically. The green channel and the orange channel. One is ripe and one ain't. So that should be cool. But, that may or may not happen. It just depends on where this goes. This is all kind of my own little social experiment, I guess. How sociable can I be? And how sociable will the world be with me? Right? I get a lot of viewing population that doesn't say anything. I would imagine that I get a tiny percentage of viewers who are incognito, and I don't even get to see that they're part of the population, let alone them being allowed to make a comment, right? So that's weird. You know, that's kind of a voyeuristic mentality that I wasn't counting on when I started this. I knew that it was mostly going to be others watching, right? But during the live stuff, I didn't, while I knew it was them, people, you guys, everybody watching, people who watch, the watchers, I wasn't fixated on the idea of the whole voyeurism part of it, people just watching to watch, right? There was a small aspect of it where I thought, you know what, just me being on every morning, where somebody could like turn it on and then just have me in the background. You know, a guy in a space station needs to have a voice there talking to him or whatever. Somebody who just wants to have a voice on when they're going to sleep or while they're working, or they're just lonely and they want somebody in the house with them or whatever. And I thought, you know what, that'd be kind of cool to just create a log of talking, you know, and interacting on occasion with people, where somebody could just turn it on and say, it's one of my favorite episodes, but he just rants and raves about Walmart. You know, whatever. You know, whatever floats your boat. So in that respect, I thought that, yeah, there would be some percentage of voyeurism. But who knows? Who knows how many people are actually watching because of the whole incognito thing. And you know, why not? Why not walk, you know, cruise around YouTube incognito and, you know, not have to be seen. You know, you can just kind of hang out. One of those weird websites where you can just hang out in somebody's house on cameras all over the place and just kind of watch them do whatever. You know, sleep, eat, shower, bone down, whatever. You know, this is not that, but it is kind of a voyeuristic show. You know, where you're welcome to just hang out and listen, watch, see what the hell's going to happen. Oh no, he didn't. You know, nothing too extreme, right? Nothing too extreme. That's my middle name, right? Nothing too extreme. Yeah, they call him Mike Nothing Too Extreme. Mike. I hate when people call me Mike. Ugh. Especially people who know better, who know well, people who've known me my entire life, right? And they still call me Mike. And I've said countless times, look, my name is Michael. It's right on my birth certificate, my ID, my license. If you ask me what my name is, I'll say Michael, right? And then you'll turn around and say, hey, Mike. And it's like, no, my name is Michael. Please don't call me Mike. And I don't know how many times I've gone over that with family members, and they just refuse. You know, I've called you Mike. You know, yeah. And I let family and friends get away with it, not because I like it. I hate hearing that word. Every time, especially somebody close to me, a family or friend, I hear Mike, and it's just like, oh God, please let there be another Mike in the room, you know, because it ain't me. It's just, that's not my name. I've never liked it. Since I was a little kid, I've hated the word Mike. Some people like it. Some people it fits. It don't fit me. Michael, you know, that. The way my wife says it is exactly how I like to hear it. Michael. She says it. She never says Mike. Well, unless she's fucking with me, which is not to happen. Yeah. No dogs? Yeah, no dogs. No dogs allowed. No dogs allowed. Oh, man. So I've got a new promo up on my channel so you can see what's happening this week. I've got 32 new episodes of shit on, 22 old-time radio shows this week, and 10 educational films and some In Search Of, and That's Incredible, and that kind of shit. Most of it's educational films, the 10. And some good educational films. I don't have anything in front of me right now. I don't have my guide open, and I don't feel like opening it. So go to the program guide and see what's coming on this week. It's a lot of fun. I picked out a lot of great stuff, and X-1 is really rolling along now. Really cool. And then this evening, be sure to tune in for Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia, because I have new opening stuff. I'm using vintage commercials along with my program guide and my opening sequence, and going from my opening pre-show video, which is all Kmart music, right into commercials and promo and more commercials, and then into my show. And then at the same thing at the end of the show, out of the show and into commercials and promo and more commercials and then audios. So it should create for more fun before and after the show as well. Not just the show, not just the walk up to the show through Kmart. But yes, I said Kmart, not Walmart, Kmart. Kmart is your savings store. All right. Well, it is. It still is around here. A microwavable bean and cheese burrito, maybe. The word that comes to mind is gut bomb, right? I don't want any more cheeseburgers. I think I got some White Castle sliders in the freezer, but I don't want that either. Nor do I want a chicken patty on a bun. I might lay down until I wake up smelling food, right? Leave my wife a note. Wake me up if you make biscuits and gravy and sausage. I'm starving. Yeah. I'm probably just going to lay down and let things work themselves out. If I don't eat any breakfast, I'll get up in a couple of hours and eat some lunch and go back to bed. And then, like I said, if my head is having too good a time sleeping, I may just skip tonight's show. Because I can do that. I can call in sick on my own show. You got a bunch of other shows you can watch. Pick a show and watch it. I'm not here. Watch a movie instead. More than likely, I'll try to be here so I can use my new opener. Totally. I can't believe I've sat here for 3 hours this morning. Actually 4 hours, because I've been here since 4. I've been up since 4. I went to sleep after 3, and I've been here since 4. That's, yeah, I need sleep, and I need food. Sleep me, food me. And there it is, the yawn and the stretch. Oh, the inevitable dance of the dreamer. A double yawner. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can find that Karate Kid stuff. It was on Netflix, of course, but they yanked it off. So, damn nose is going crazy now. So I'll have to look for that. I got the urine to watch some Mr. Miyagi, and while they do really, really pay heavy tribute to his character, and of course the actor. You know, he's gone. So we have to go back and enjoy the old stuff. Yep. So we're all going to be gone. So be sure to load up your own stuff so that people can find you when you're not around. So yeah, once again, I need to get this stuff downloaded off of YouTube. Oh, that's gonna be a big to-do. Hard drive and download. To go to copyright school and external hard drive, and then download all live videos, because I got to do it. I can get all those videos. Totally. So what are you going to do, you know? The whole purpose of recording all of this stuff is to have it. So, and I don't have it unless I have the actual, you know, I can't say physical copy because nothing digital is physical anymore. Just the place where it resides, but it is never physical, and that's something I can't get over with this digital age, is that if I want any of that stuff to be real, right, it has to come out of the computer. The photographs have to be printed out, right? Videos have to be put onto a manageable media, like a disc or a videotape or something, right? The music has to be put onto a reel-to-reel and off the digital onto an LP or something in order for it to be real. Otherwise, it's just ones and zeros, and it doesn't make any real reality. There's nothing there. It can just be, you know, you have to take something physical and physically destroy it in order to get rid of it. All you have to do is look at a hard drive and it'll just say adios. And I hate that. So I need to back up my backup with backup. I've got a lot of stuff up on the cloud, but my external hard drives are not on the cloud. You know, I guess I could try to cloud my external hard drive, but it's up into the terabytes. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I just don't know. I do know that I'm probably going to eat a piece of bread or something and then just leave a note and lay down. Because, man, I am wiped out. These kids wore me out. Where am I going to put this post-it where it's really going to mean the most? Put it here. What are you going to do, eh? What are you going to do? Nothing. That's what. Yeah. Which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to eat and then do nothing. And try to recover. It's going to take me a couple of days to recover from the drive. Because while driving is the one thing that I still do well, it really takes its toll on me. Yeah, I don't know whether it's the house settling or the wind blowing on the frickin' awnings or the skirting or whatever. Noises. Speaking of noises, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to play my ending sequence here because I can do that. I can totally do it. Right? And then I can have a little snack and go lay down and be a vegetable in a garden. Yeah, alright people. I am gonna skedaddle on out of here. I am so exhausted. So be sure to tune in this evening and see if I tune in this evening. Or am I just gone, right? And be sure to, be kind, spread peace and love. Don't be an asshole. Do something nice for somebody. Most especially, people, stay weird. And I will see you later. Adios.